Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ohio University's Online Master of Public Administration webinar. We are going to be doing a student's perspective today with a little bit of information to get us started on the actual MPA. We are going to give everyone just about another 30 seconds to get logged on and situated, and we will get started. All right, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us today, taking the time to learn a little bit more about Ohio's MPA, as well as our 3 student panelists. Thank you all for your time today. We will quickly get moving forward. First, I want to point out a couple of things on your screen in front of you. You will see an area for Q&A, which we will have a little bit later. Feel free to get started inputting questions that you might have and you would like us to address. And then you will also see an area there where social media is available to share the presentation with your friends and colleagues. So let's go ahead and touch on the agenda. We'll have a quick Mpa Program Overview. We will speak to our 3 students who have taken the time to share their experience with you. Ashley Hudzik is here with us. We have Curtis Brown with us, as well as Larry Lester, who is a recent MPA graduate. We will also then have a quick Q&A session so that they or myself can answer any questions that you have, and I will share some information with you about how to apply. So let's quickly touch on a couple of these points with the Mpa Program Overview. As some of you already know, it's going to help you build the skill set. Our students are certainly going to expound on that here today, that you need to address any type of position, responsibility in public sector or nonprofit. As you can see, those are our 2 concentrations. There is no campus residency requirement, no capstone or experiential learning, and it is taught by field experienced faculty from the campus. You're going to find that it's a really terrific experience, as they will no doubt share with you. A few of the courses here, 12 classes total, 9 of which are in what we call the core courses, as you'll see here. And then 3 classes, a true specialization, 3 in each of the specializations, public leadership and management concentration for a total of 9 credits, and then the nonprofit management concentration as well for a total of 9 credits. 36 total credit hours for the program, 12 classes total. As you can see, here is some information on Mpa Career Outcomes, MPA-related job titles, things like Chief Administrative Officer, City Managers, Directors in Public Policy, Executive Directors for nonprofits, things of that nature, as well as some information on what those potential annual salaries can look like from payscale.com. And then as well, private sector roles that surprise many people when they think about an MPA, that private sector roles might be open to different positions there, business development directors, corporate communications directors, management consultants, things of that nature, where an MPA can set you apart from many other applicants in those arenas. So don't discount it if you're in private sector. There are some roles out there where the MPA can be just as valuable for you. So let's jump into the real reason you are all here, to have an opportunity to hear about the MPA from a student's perspective. So we will start with Ashley. Here's a little bit of background. Ashley, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Hi, everyone. As she mentioned, my name is Ashley Hudzik. I am a recent 2017 graduate from Youngstown State University with a bachelor's degree in accounting and a minor and certificate in nonprofit leadership. When I was an undergrad, I was in a student nonprofit leadership organization, and at the end of the year, they had all of the seniors go around and talk about what their plans for next year were, and someone had mentioned obtaining their master's in public administration. I thought that sounded super interesting, so I started researching schools and led me to Ohio University. I've had a very positive experience during my year in the online Master's of Public Administration program at Ohio University. I've been able to maximize my potential by planning out my week, deciding what needs to get accomplished by when, and where I can fit in time to relax and still do things that I enjoy. This process has yet to fail me, balancing my work schedule, cooking, family time, time for friends, and time to myself. This is advice that I would offer to any student, to plan ahead and be sure to allow yourself enough time to complete assignments while also allowing yourself to do things that you enjoy so you don't get burnt out. My second piece of advice would also entail your amount of effort. You get out of this program what you put into it. If you do not reach out to your professor and other students, you're only putting yourself at a disadvantage. Using those resources not only reduces your stress related to your coursework, but also allows for long-term connections. The professors are aware of the difficulties online and distant learning can face, so they do a really great job of finding ways that they can incorporate learning in this less untraditional environment. They host online sessions so you can meet face-to-face in order to solve any problems you have with your class, and they truly do put in an effort above and beyond to ensure that you succeed. I also especially enjoy the way the courses are set up because you only focus on one class at a time instead of trying to juggle multiple classes. The 7-week courses present the information at an accelerated rate, but the way the professors structure the class, you don't miss out on any of the information. I chose Ohio's Mpa program because of the prestige of the program and the flexibility to complete the program without me having to move down to Athens. I personally have been able to commute an hour one direction to my 40 hours a week full-time job, volunteer once a week for a 4-H summer camp, purchase a home, and still accomplish all of my assignments while learning many ideas that I actually want to implement at my job. Other reasons I chose the program are because of the staff who welcomed me to the program. The enrollment advisor called me to make sure I was on track, but didn't call me so much that I was annoyed. She also was able to answer any questions I had about the program and help me balance the pros and cons of the various program options I had. Most importantly, even though it's probably her job to quote-unquote be excited for the prospective student, I felt like she was genuinely excited for me to join the program, which made me more excited for the program and comfortable that I was making the correct decision. I can honestly say I've learned a lot more in 1 year in this program than I did in 1 year as an undergrad. The subject material is relevant to my current career and my current career goals. I plan on using my Mpa program to expand my impact on the nonprofit world. Currently, I'm the controller at a nonprofit, so I'm the head of the accounting department. I would love to continue to move up, become a chief executive officer, whether it's where I currently am or another nonprofit, that I can positively impact the clients. The business hosting, I want to implement topics I've learned in this program, especially the performance management and measurement processes I'm learning in my current class on outcomes, because I know that it will take any nonprofit to the next level of service providing.
That's really great, Ashley. Thank you so much for sharing that with our attendees. I think it's really important to point out, and thank you for addressing that coursework is relatively easy. The mechanics of what you're doing, the time that you're spending each week is fairly easy to fit it into your days and weeks to come. Have you found that being organized, you had mentioned that, has really helped with that, and then having the flexibility to bob and weave, as it were, when necessary? If you didn't feel like doing it one day, you still had time in the week left over. Do you feel like that flexibility also helped you?
Yes, I do, because even my birthday was back in February, and I had class during that week, but I just made sure that I reached out to my professor and made sure that I got done what I needed to, and I was still able to accomplish everything I needed to before I left, and I was able to still go to Vegas and do things while I was also still in class.
Excellent. Great to hear. And I tell that to students, to prospective students all the time. So this is going to be really valuable straight from someone who is experiencing that themselves. You have that ability to turn things in early and be able to then carve out some additional time for yourself moving forward. And so that's something I'm really glad to hear you say, Ashley. Thank you so much. So we will have, I can already see people with questions. We will have some questions coming up, no doubt, for you. So thank you so much. Let's jump over to Curtis. Curtis, if you don't mind, give a little bit of your background, and then, of course, speak to your experience with us here at Ohio University's MPA.
Sure. Well, thank you so much for having me today, and hello to everyone watching. A little bit of background about me. I used to be a classroom educator. I was a music educator. Started out in West Virginia in the Kanawha County school system, and actually ended up moving to Columbus to teach here in the Columbus City school system. And I always wanted to go back to obtain my master's degree, and I came across the Mpa program at Ohio University, and I still wanted to work while obtaining my master's degree, and that was really the one of the big parts that drew me to the Mpa program at Ohio University, along with learning about the prestige of the program and learning about the professors and the curriculum and just all the things that come along with the program. So I was really excited to be able to be a part of it. Some of my experiences with the program were openness from the professors. Whenever I had any kind of questions, or if I ever had any issues with assignments or anything that would come up, all I had to do was email or call my professors, and they were always right there ready to help me solve the issue. And I remember even having a point at one time when I had a question about something, and one of the professors offered to do a video conference with me just to make sure that I was understanding everything that I was supposed to understand. And that I really appreciated, because at that point I was working my full-time job, and I was working a part-time job, and I had the classes. So it was really, really helpful that they wanted to take the time to sit down and really make sure that I understood everything. And that was something that I really, really appreciated. As far as balancing, work and life and everything, of course, I had a lot of stuff going on. In addition to the jobs and class, I also do volunteer work and all those things. But none of that stuff ever had to stop, because I was always on top of my classwork, which you have to be on top of it. As Ashley said earlier, whatever you put into the program is what you get out of it. So you have to make sure that you plan. You have to make sure that you stay on top of the assignment due dates, on top of the things that come along with the program, and it really, really helps you to be able to balance everything that comes along with it. As far as advice to give incoming students is that, one, make sure that you stay on top of things, make sure that you're organized and plan ahead. That's the biggest thing, is to plan ahead. Of course, with the residencies, or if it's being online or whatnot, just make sure that you know exactly what's going on for the semester so that you can plan ahead. Make sure that you, again, make sure that you put in what you want to get out of it. Just make sure that you are doing everything to the fullest of your efforts, and I think that's really, really important. What I also think about the Mpa program is I was really excited to learn that the professors had real life experiences. I remember in one of my particular classes, we did an assignment that it was a pretty hefty assignment, but I learned so much from it, because the professor, these were things that the professor had done for years, so we learned so much about it. And that was one of the biggest things that I was really excited about, was the professors have real life experiences, and they have connections. If you ever have any further questions about something that comes up, they can put you in contact with someone to where you can learn even more about the subjects that are being taught. And also, the MPA program, I have learned things going, starting a job in the nonprofit sector. I have learned so many things that I have brought back to my job while I'm still in the program, and I can say that it's made my boss pretty happy. And so I've learned things that I am able to instantly take to my job and be able to kind of change some of the things that maybe have in the past have been done the same way. And that was one thing that I was also really excited about, and just learning about, just like you said earlier, not only the nonprofit sector but also the public sector and the private sector. I think that is a huge benefit of this program. Upon graduating, I finished this summer, and I plan on exploring some public sector type things and also some nonprofit things, since I do work for the nonprofit now. But I just look to explore so many things. I feel like this program really gives you the tools to not only focus on one area. You get tools to where you can be, you can dabble in so many things, and it really, really helps you to become really just a person that you can learn about anything. And just like you were saying earlier about even if you are in the private sector, this program will still benefit you on your job. And that's really a great thing that I really enjoyed about this program as well. And if you have any reservations about joining or about signing up or about starting, if you have any questions, anyone at OU will be happy to address them and to help them. And I would really, really suggest you just ask questions and don't be afraid to just jump in and become a part of the program, because I highly, highly recommend it.
That's excellent. Thank you so much, Curtis. It's interesting that you mentioned, referring back to the information I was talking about, potential for private sector positions as well, because as I mentioned, people sometimes forget that the MPA can have really valuable impact in even a private sector position. So you had taken, no doubt, along with the other students, the leadership courses in our curriculum. Do you feel like they enhanced the type of leader you wanted to be? Do you feel like you really learned something new? You had mentioned that you were bringing things to your work week in and week out, which was really making your employer happy. Do you feel like those leadership courses really helped with that as well?
Yes, I definitely feel that way, and I'll have to say, to be absolutely honest, because being a teacher, I've done a lot of leadership workshops and leadership seminars and things like that. But I really, the leadership courses from the MPA program have really helped me a lot, bringing things back to my job. And one specific area that I can think of off the top of my head is my organization. Probably about 2 to 3 months ago, just finished the process of doing a strategic plan, and that was one thing that I was not very familiar with. But of course, learning from my coworkers and also with a combination of learning things from the MPA program from those leadership courses, I was able to bring back things that help to build our strategic plan that we have planned for the next 3 years. And as I said earlier, my boss was extremely happy, and she has been in the nonprofit sector for a great deal of time. And even some of the things that I brought back from the MPA program, she was very impressed with, and she would say, well, I never thought about it like that. So those were things that I was able to bring back that was very, very helpful.
Very good. Glad to hear that. It's important, I think, to point out to prospective students, and so this testimonial from you speaks to that, right? The work that you're doing, the things that you are learning are new and of the moment, things that you can put into play right away, as you all hear from Curtis saying his employer was really very happy with. So please, don't be afraid. Jump in there. Give me a call. That's why you have me as the enrollment advisor on your side to help you answer some of these questions and help you make a really well and good and informed decision. So thank you so much for that, Curtis.
You're welcome.
So let's speak with Larry. Larry, thank you so much for joining us. Tell us a little bit about your background and how your experience with Ohio University's MPA has gone.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me. Hello, everyone. I want to begin by discussing my background briefly. I began my career in local government in 1993, and I also want to note that I have earned all three of my degrees as an adult learner. I have never been through a traditional program. I worked for approximately 10 years before finally completing my associate's degree in civil engineering, and thought that I wanted to be an engineer, but decided otherwise. The next step for me was a business undergrad, and I went through that program as an adult, graduating just before age 40, and didn't at that time think about grad school, but the wheels began to turn, and I talked to folks internally within our organization here at the City of Hilliard, and our HR director took me under his wing, and he was a great mentor for me, and one comment that he made that stuck with me is, Larry, if you want to do this, you have to do it now. Do not let the grass grow under your feet. And that stuck with me for months, and I finally started to look at programs. I considered an MBA versus an MPA and what might work. Talked to many people, practitioners within my area of local government, and they all steered me toward an MPA. So I made the decision to go that direction and looked at different schools, and Ohio University stuck out to me for various reasons, which I'll get into later. But I did my undergrad at a private college, and I wanted to, this time around, go through a state school that had both name recognition and a good regional and national reputation, and Ohio University met those requirements. Program cost and flexibility were also important factors that I considered. And then my main reason, on a personal note, for completing my degree was to show my daughters the importance of dedication, hard work, higher education, and lifelong learning. And they have been instrumental in seeing me through this program. I am a recent graduate of the program. I completed the program 3 months before my 45th birthday. The last 2 years have been super busy with life, but also very rewarding. And I can honestly say that this program has provided me with a unique opportunity to earn an MPA while juggling my busy life. The program truly is built for the working professional. My experience with the program, Vojnovic School and the college, has been very positive. The program has far exceeded my expectations. And Curtis mentioned about the faculty earlier in his presentation, but I would add that the Vojnovic School faculty, they're facilitators of learning. I view them more as mentors rather than your normal college professor. They're top-notch in their area of expertise. They're practitioners. More importantly, they're supportive, and they have a strong desire to help the students succeed. I found the staff at the Vojnovic School to be very accommodating and professional. I can call on any individual at the college at any time and get the support that I need. Even I've had conversations with professors and the dean after graduating, and everyone has been very supportive. Curriculum is challenging, practical, and relevant. I've been able to use the processes that I've learned through the program to help my current organization. My studies in the program were largely focused around local government. Since completing the program, I've been able to do performance measures within my organization. I've also been able to help the city right-size its fleet by retiring vehicles that are no longer in use. And since graduating, I have missed my cohort greatly. I've met a great number of people in the program. I enjoyed the time that I spent with those folks. The program has offered me the opportunity to build my network, and I've made many lifelong friends through this program. I'm grateful for the time that the faculty and staff and my cohort have invested in me, and they've as a group, have collectively made me a better public servant. How did I balance this program with work and life? The key for me was flexibility, time management, and I used mobile technology. I've read case studies in the middle of the mall. I've also written papers on my iPhone, sitting in the car. I love the Kindle app and the ability to highlight text. This program has made me a speed reader, and I process information more quickly. I've worked on assignments in the morning, late at night, during lunch hour at work. My recommendation to you would be to seek a mentor and rely on others to help you on the way. I had 2 people that proofread every assignment. They critiqued my work through the entire 2 years of the program, and I leaned on them heavily. You simply find ways to get things done. There also has to be a balance. I myself personally am a workaholic. I have to keep that in check. So you have to take regular breaks and step away from your studies and assignments. Coffee also works well. You can absolutely complete this program. I'll be 45 in August. I am married. I have 2 daughters, Kendall and Brielle. They are 10 and 7. So our house is out of control. We run every night. There's something going on at our house, and through this process, I've coached softball. I've gone to after-school activities. I've attended 4-H meetings. I've taken our oldest daughter to piano lessons. I've gone to recitals. I play drums in a band, and we're just involved in so many things. And this program fits within the things that you have going outside of work and your career. Our youngest daughter, Kendall, she's 7, and my wife and both my daughters have been really my greatest supporters through the program. I remember every Sunday night before bed she would ask me if I logged into Blackboard and submitted my assignment on time, and she gave me that reminder. And she would ask at the end of each semester to see my report card, and I had accountability at home. I had my coworkers at work were holding me accountable. My cohort, they were holding me accountable. The professors, the people at the Vojnovic School, they held me accountable through this program and encouraged me along the way. And the one thing I got out of it was that no single person can accomplish anything alone. This is so true. Why did I choose the Vojnovic School and the Mpa program? What sets it apart is the reputation of the school and the commitment to practical learning and application. The school just celebrated its 10-year anniversary, and it's ranked 39th as the most innovative public service school in the country. That's a great accomplishment for a school that is this young. The faculty and staff, as I mentioned before, are top-notch. They care about your success. They're all approachable. I could call any one of them today, including the dean, to ask for support and help, career advice, whatever it may be. And they're also, the students are top-notch. I had some very sharp individuals in my cohort. I had folks like Curtis Brown who challenged me to just simply get better. They encouraged me to finish the race. And I was in several classes with Curtis. I remember on one occasion I had given a presentation, and I was nervous. And Curtis came up to me afterwards and complimented on how great a job that I had done on this presentation. And folks like him that just encourage you and carry you through the process. I enjoyed the diversity and the different perspectives of our group. My area is in local government. I learned a great deal about social services and also nonprofits through this program that have helped me see things through different lenses. So the program has improved my analytical, critical thinking, and professional writing skills. I process information much more quickly than I used to. And I have the ability to organize and articulate my thoughts much better than I did before and build a more solid argument to help improve my organization. I learned a great deal about public administration, policy, and politics, and I've expanded my knowledge over the last 2 years about how local governments operate. The program has helped me be a better leader and change agent in my current organization. And I've learned that as a leader, I don't have to know everything. I don't have to have all the answers. I simply need to focus on serving others and asking the right questions to empower the people around me. And the program has helped me do that. Through some of the courses that I took and some of the things that I've learned in performance measurement, I've been able to improve the city street maintenance program and how we look at streets and how we rehabilitate streets and drive economic development in a more holistic approach. I've also am developing a public value scorecard for a department where we're measuring and improving performance, and we're using data from 3 different systems: our time management system, we have a service request system, and then our financial software. So we're looking at data from those 3 systems and bringing them together where we can measure that data to get better as an organization. I am committed to, more committed to my organization and a long-term change. I see things beyond the tip of my nose, and I'm looking out 5 and 10 years on where I think the organization needs to go. What have I done, and I'll just kind of close here, what have I done since graduation? I was promoted to Deputy Director of Public Service at the beginning of my 3rd semester in the program. I have served in this position for the last 1.5 years. And since graduating, I've had other people, alum and practitioners within government ask if I have the desire to move up to the state level since graduation. And the answer right now is no. I don't feel that calling. I really feel that my passion and drive is at the local level. My long-term career goal is to secure a Director of Public Service, Assistant City Manager position. Since graduation, I've been relaxing. I've been decompressing over the last month. I'm continuing to coach our daughters in softball. We're involved in 4-H. I'm currently updating my resume and LinkedIn pages, and I'm looking at applying for adjunct teaching positions. And I will say, as an adult student, my time in higher education has been very rewarding. I enjoy the environment and the people and the conversations and the camaraderie that goes along with it. And I'm considering a doctoral degree. I don't know if that's in my future or not at this point, but I'm certainly going to keep my options open. And I will close in saying that I am grateful for the time I spent in the program. I'm grateful for the individuals that I've met and built my network, and more importantly, I'm thankful to be a Bobcat. I'm available for questions beyond this presentation. If you would like, I'll provide my direct phone number as well as my email address. Thank you for your time and attention.
That's really wonderful to hear. Thank you so much, Larry, for participating. I think one of the things that we should all take away from all 3 of our participants today is that I think it seems very clear that they all feel much more confident and valuable in their contributions professionally since beginning the program and in 2 of the cases completing the MPA. So there's a lot to be said for that motivation and that feeling of empowerment that translates into what we are willing to do and extend ourselves in our professional lives. So thank you all so much. All 3 of you, stick around with me for a little bit. We'll have our quick Q&A session. We have a couple of questions already in here. One of those is, how many actual hours a week do you feel you spend on homework assignments for each course? So Ashley, let me throw that one to you since you are currently in the program. How many hours a week do you find yourself actually spending on each course?
I would say it kind of depends on the course. So towards the beginning, you take like a stats class. The stats was something that came very easy to me. So I probably spent less time studying and preparing for my assignments. But in the class I'm in right now, it's a lot of reading, and reading is not one of my strong points. So it takes me a little bit longer to either reread or to get through the entire section that I need to read. So I would say between around 10 hours a week and it just depends on the structure of the class, and if there's a lot of reading, it takes me a little bit longer, but that's just one of my personal goals that I am getting better at through the program, because I have a lot of assignments that are a lot of reading.
Very good. And it's nice of you to point out that depending on what type of student you are is what your time commitment might end up being, right? And the advantage of having the classes the way they've been set up is that you have that luxury of some additional time should you need to spend it on any particular course.
Correct, yep.
Very good. Thank you so much. Curtis, I'm going to throw this one to you. Wondering if you feel much more valuable now to potential employers than your current employer today as opposed to when you first started your MPA. That's a really interesting question. Curtis, go ahead.
That is a very interesting question. I would say from the standpoint of being a better leader, being a better critical thinker, and being able to bring more ideas to the table to benefit the organization, and not only the organization as a whole, but also on a personal level to, my staff members, I would say absolutely yes. I do feel more valuable, and I feel more valuable just because I have more tools in my tool belt that I can use when it comes to the day-to-day activities that happen in the office, and also the long-term things that happen in my office. And this is kind of on an unrelated note, but what Larry was talking about, which I neglected to mention, is the cohort. The cohort that you're in is extremely important. And I absolutely agree with Larry when he said that you become friends and family members with the people that are in your cohort. We have celebrated birthdays. We have, done things outside of class, and it's really been helpful. The people that have been in our cohort, and I would also say that is a very big benefit of the program.
Very good. Thank you so much. And that touches on one of the other questions here. And Larry, I'm going to throw that to you because you actually mentioned this a little bit when you were speaking. You were talking about having people in your corner and feeling supported and having the opportunity to really network with your fellow classmates and your professors. Do you feel like that collaborative sort of setting increased your ability to sort of retain the subject matter?
Yes, I do, and going back to support, it really starts at home. And my family have been very supportive, my wife and daughters, from day one, and they saw me all the way through an undergrad and a graduate program. Also, in your workplace, you have to have support from your employer and your coworkers, and I've had that. My current employer has been outstanding. I've been able to use projects that I'm working on at work and tie that into assignments and basically get a 2-for-1 deal. And it helps you on both sides, and when you bring that together, it really has a powerful impact.
That's really excellent to hear. Thank you so much. We have lots of really terrific questions today. If we can't get to them all, don't worry. I'll be sure that we get to them. Let's quickly touch on, so that you can get a little bit of time back in your lunch hour, what the admissions requirements are. You'll see them here. Most importantly, there is no GRE or GMAT required. Certainly, you'll need to do transcripts and a letter of intent or an essay, your resume, of course, and 3 letters of recommendation. And you'll be able to get all of this information from me as well if you want to reach out individually on a case-by-case basis. And then the early decision deadline is coming up here July 1st. I actually have a little bit of an extension to that coming up. And then the final fall deadline will be at the end of July because, of course, traditionally speaking, fall is the kind of semester start time frame that we all have kind of ingrained in us over the years. So many more people start applying for fall semester, and then it can take a little bit longer to get an answer because there are more applicants. So if you want to get an early decision, apply sooner rather than later is my best advice to you as an enrollment advisor. I've been doing this quite a long time and am able to help you all through that process. Here's my contact information, so please do feel free to reach out to me. I am happy to help, and before you know it, you'll be the leader that you can see clearly from our 3 presenters today. They have become because of this MPA program that they are going through and have gone through. So thank you, everyone. For Ashley, Curtis, and Larry, stick around for a few minutes after our session, but I want to thank you for your time and your participation and sharing your experience with our prospective students. I can tell you that hearing it from the student's perspective can change someone's mind and help them get moving forward as well. And I'm sure you all will feel very happy to hear that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. So that's it for today. Thank you so much. If you registered, you will receive a copy of this recording. Feel free to share it with anyone as well as my contact information. Enjoy the rest of your day.